Hey guys, I'm finally back. It's been, I think it's been a little under a month since the last time I made one of these videos, but trust me, it's not because I am like getting bored of making this map or something. There was just a couple bugs in the game, when they were releasing snapshots that were really preventing me from making any progress. But back into it, they fixed some of them, and I compensated for some of them, but we're finally back. I'll just explain what the bugs were in the first place. There was the spawner bug, which would pretty much make it so the spawn data doesn't activate, kind of like when a spawner first spawns when you enter a world, it would spawn whatever entity it was, but it wouldn't have any spawn data. So for example, I use those item spawners to detect where people are, and because of this bug, it would just like spawn the item near the spawner instead of with the data that I have in the spawn data. So that was the main bug that was preventing me from doing anything. Also, I talked about this in a different video, but there was the bug with the chat and the colors and everything, and that was not fixed, and apparently Mojang is not going to fix it. So what I did what I talked about in that other video. I changed all the command blocks that display custom colorful text, and I changed those all to tell raw, and to be honest, it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I did do it all by hand, and it even looks a whole lot better now than it did before, so I'm okay with that. Um, yeah, that's pretty much the whole reason why it's been a while. Also, I've been doing other things like with school and stuff, but that doesn't really matter. I'm back into it, and that's what does matter. So, what I did here is I added some like mountains in this area. Also, there's this cobblestone. I don't know if I showed it or not, but before this looked really weird. It just looked like some kind of tube of stone that you go up, and it didn't look like actual mountains. So I put stone just in case you're like looking around and think it looks weird. So there's a bunch of stone. Also, I might show a clip right now of the new colors, like the new chat. Um, it is working for like every single like /say command that I was using before is now tell raw. So everything's working pretty good. Also, when I come up here, you will see some new stuff that I added since last episode. And if you guys notice any like cuts like what just happened right there, it's because I have a cold right now and I cough and whatnot. You know how it is. So when we go up here, we will activate something right somewhere over here. Yep, there you can see the new text. It says wow, and there's like this really big ship right there. I built that while I was waiting for some bugs to be fixed, and I think it looks okay. Boats are pretty much the worst thing that I am at building, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I'm pretty bad at building boats, and you'll see that also when I show the other thing. As you might be able to tell by the title, there's going to be some conflict pretty soon. So you just pretty much come down here. There's as the objective says, board the ship, get to the lower cargo area, and hide inside a crate. So that's what we're going to do. So we swim over to here. There's these little birch things, which means you can climb up them. There's the spruce, which means you can't, so you have to go over here. Pretty simple stuff. and you can see there's a crossbow man right there. So this is kind of to make it feel like you're sneaking onto the ship. You know, you're kind of really not, but yeah, there's that. And then when you come down here, you can't go back up there, and you have to hide in a crate. So what I'm guessing most people do is they'll like look at all the crates, see if there's one they can hide in, and once we get here, there's an opening. So what you can do is go in here. Since that will do the trick, I'll just wait here until we arrive in Mountain. So then you hear this. This is supposed to be like a few hours later or something. It says what is going on, investigate the explosions. So that the whole crate just kind of like blew up right there. And you can see there's holes in the ship and it's kind of like flooding. So there's obviously some kind of attack happening. So what you do is swim up here and you see this ship right there. It says looks like some pirates are attacking the ship. I might need to help out the Mountonians on this one as much as I hate to do it. And objective is go to the upper deck. So we're just gonna swim over here. And there's this guy, he's supposed to be the captain. It says, hey, what are you doing here? I was just put on this armor and go board the ship, soldier. And you say, yes sir. So the idea behind that is that you were pretty much mistaken for a soldier, even though you're not. Again, sorry for all the cuts, but I have a pretty bad cold. So over here, if you swim, you can climb up this. This ladder right here was not there before, so you wouldn't have been able to break it. So when you come up here, it says they're boarding the ship, get him boys. And then he says, wait, I'm not a soldier. What do you mean you're not a soldier? What were you doing on the ship then? I was trying to get to Mountain. Let me guess, they destroyed your home and now you want revenge. I guess that's what happened. How did you know? I'll explain later. Why don't you prove that you're not lying by taking out the incoming soldiers in the water? Get in the cannon and shoot the incoming soldiers. So you just go into this minecart, hop in the cannon and press the button to load it, then punch the fireball while looking at your target. So you press this. This is like a little cannon thing I made. It's pretty cool. So you just have to shoot these guys. This is a lot more complicated than it looks, but I'll explain it when I look at all the redstone. Yeah, so you pretty much just shoot these guys and stop them from coming to the ship. I guess I'll show what happens if they do make it, so I'm not gonna kill all of them. But it's pretty simple, you just have to shoot them. I think a lot of people will like this little part of the map. So you can see this guy is coming close to the ship. The ones on this right side, you have to actually aim a little bit in front to kill them. So you saw that soldier, he made it to the ship right there. But actually I was going to die. Yeah, I should probably stop using the cannon. I might make like a resistance beacon or something. Not a beacon, but like give the player resistance when they're right here, so that they don't kill themselves with a cannon. Okay, so you saw that I got a fail right there because the guy made it to the ship right there. And again, I'll explain it later, but now we have to go put this bomb inside the ship, as you see right there. So we just swim back over, and we're going to go find the explosives, which you might have saw earlier. But there's a whole bunch of TNT. There's also a few guys in here that you need to fight. there's a lot of them, so it's not too easy. And also, I'm low on health. Also, something I noticed with 1.7 is I'm getting like half the FPS I normally do, which is not too great, but hopefully they'll fix it. Like I used to get around 40 or like 40 to 50, but now I'm getting around like 20 to 15. It's not so great. So you do have a certain amount of time. Oh, there it goes. So a lot of that just kind of blows up. It says, wow, you sure know what you're doing. I was not expecting you to come out of that alive. Gee, thanks. Grab a seat, and we're going to sail back to our fort. Then I'll explain what's going on. And at that point, you would be teleported to the next area. So that's pretty much that. I'll also explain what is going on because since I probably wouldn't do it in a video until next episode, these people are pretty much like the same thing happened to them that happened to Theo. Like their villages were destroyed and everything by Malanton, and they've kind of like banded together to try to put a stop to it, and you're going to like get involved with these people, and they are going to help you take down Malanton, kind of. So that's the plan with that. Now I guess I will show you the redstone for this area. It's really complicated, so this might be a longer video than normal, but here we go. This is the mountain area. It's pretty much just a bunch of big balls of stone that have been eroded. It doesn't look too good from here, but from down there you can't really tell. So what happens when you go up here, there's a spawner over here which makes the little wow and tells you the objective. That's right there. So once you get in range of the spawner, it will put an item right there, tell you the objective. I just broke the objective, but that's okay. So basically it tells you what to do. I think it also sets your spawn point to right here, so if you die you go back here. Also it triggers something where if you go there, if you try to swim away, it'll teleport you back. So that's that. So for this area, downstairs, also if I didn't show this, you can't really go anywhere. You can go over here, but you'll probably get killed by a guy. And anyway, so you're supposed to go down that right there. So you go down here and you go inside this. What happens here is there's a wooden pressure plate right there, and what that will do is summon this XP orb right there, and where that is a piece of cobblestone in here somewhere that leads to the secret base. Not really, it's not actually a secret base, but that's where the redstone is. I'm not sure where the cobblestone is here. I'll do this. That should, nope. Okay, here's the cobblestone. So this is where the redstone is for this part. So what I'm also working on, I don't think I've said this, but I'm working on making this work for like co-op, so there could be 2 people playing. I know that like the story wouldn't make sense, but a lot of people like insist on playing it with their friend or something, so I'm just trying to make it work. So when you go into there, all the players who are playing will be teleported to the same spot, just so like one person doesn't get stuck in an area. But after that, it will set those 2 wood blocks and play a sound like you're placing it, and then it says, so yeah, this is the new command. It's pretty easy to do. You just, in between these quotes, change what you want it to say, and it gives you blindness. I think it gives you nausea too. Nausea might be like under here. Yeah. Okay, so it gives you blindness and nausea, and after a long time it will teleport you to this area. This next area that it teleports you to, there's like a copy of this ship, and it's about 1,000 blocks this way. So I'm gonna go there and I will show you when I get there. Okay, so once you like you get teleported and you go into a similar little, it's like the same little crate right here. There's another pressure plate in there which will cause the crate to blow up and everything. So underwater here I have a secret redstone house, which is like it's like a rock, kind of looks like a rock, but there's a bunch of redstone inside. So what happens when you step on that pressure plate is it sets like the block above this to be redstone block, like this. So when it does that, it will set the time to day. It will set your spawn point. It will play some explosion sounds. That's what all these are, except for this one, which says, huh? And then here says what's going on. Plays another explosion sound. Then these are all the set block commands, which will make it look like it's exploding. It also will tell you the objective right there. That's pretty much it for that. Then there's this spawner here, which can tell when you leave out of one of these holes in the ship. So what that spawner does is it activates this little thing right here. So it summons, or I mean, it spawns the item right there, and it says the onions. No, just kidding. That's part of the Mountonians. This is just like what he says. This sets where the spawner is to air, so you don't see it. This tells you to go to the upper deck, and this plays the objective sound. So once you go to the upper deck where that guy is standing, he's the captain, I guess. It will summon an item here. There's another spawner up there. Says, hey, what are you doing here? Goes to here. This is just says everything it needs to say. This will give you the armor. And then it will put the ladder there so you can climb up on the other side. Then it will do the objective. Also, once you get out of here, this, I think, will set this to air. So once you leave the ship, it will start this hopper thing, which will summon some environmentally friendly TNT, which, if you don't know, was created by CrushedPixel. It's basically like a creeper that's invisible, and if you have mob griefing off, it will not actually explode anything, but it will make the particles and play sound and hurt people. So that's what these are. It'll just put them in different places to make it feel like there's some kind of battle going on. And that's pretty much it for that part. So once you swim over to here, as you can see, there's no ladder here. That gets set later. Once you go here, there's a little spawner right there, so once you climb up the ladder, it will do this. I'll just show it in action. So it summons an item right there, which does a lot of things. I'll just stop this right there. But what that does is puts this piston out, which will activate this little clock, which makes it so you can't, if you go into the water, you'll get teleported back up. It adds that swim objective, says some stuff. This part is pretty complicated, but I'll explain that after. This is the dialogue. It's really complex, or at least it looks like it is, but it's just a bunch of repeaters. It says all the stuff it needs to say, objective, hint. Then it will summon an item which will count down how long you have to like defend the ship. I don't know what that's for. Guess we don't need that. I shouldn't have broken that. So anyway, there's a few different components here. There's this clock which prevents you from swimming. There's also there probably is a bunch of zombies right now. Okay, now I'm on peaceful. But what it will do is it will set these two blocks to air. It will summon a villager, and this is so that the zombies will track this villager. And the reason why they do that is, again, there's a bug in the game which I really want to get fixed, but I don't think the bug tracker system is working really well. It doesn't report the bugs to Mojang, I guess, because this bug has been in the game for a very long time, and it's basically if you are standing somewhere where zombies cannot get you, and there's a bunch of them trying to get to you, they will cause a ton of lag. Not like FPS, but like it'll make the internal server lag a lot. So all the redstone and stuff will slow down, all the entities will slow down and everything. And it's really bad, but it hasn't been fixed. So I'll also put that in the description if you want to go vote for it, but like I said, I'm not sure Mojang will see it anytime soon. So what I did to fix that is there's this villager here who the zombies can get to, so it shouldn't cause any lag. They should track this villager and try to get to him and not cause any lag, but just in case they don't track the villager and they track me, I made it so that they do have like a valid path to get to me. So what happens is if they see me, they should see this path, like this carpet. They shouldn't see that as something blocking their path. So they should come up here if they could, but this is the path that they will see, and come through here and come over here and try to kill me. But of course they can't do that because the carpet is blocking them. Also, they can't do that because when they go over to here, they will be killed, which I will show now. So once this all triggers, as it gets to the end of this dialogue, it will summon this item right here. And what that will, well, I pretty much just fast forwarded through the whole thing, but what it will do, actually I'll just stand on it, like that. So when this is down, it makes this clock, this little hopper thing go, and what this will do is summon, like right here, it summons these are randomizers, and that's why it only summons the zombies jumping off the ship every so often, so there's like a 2 in 3 chance that they will summon. So what happens also is these, or not those, somewhere in here there's a command block. This is pretty confusing. There's a ton of redstone, but what will happen is it will summon Here, hold on. Let me just sit peaceful, but what will happen is it will summon, or not summon, it will set a block somewhere over here. See these two redstone blocks? It will set one of them. This one will create a little tripwire thing. So I'll show you that. Once that triggers, it makes this little thing right here. Again, it's a little messed up because I've been like messing around with the redstone and making it trigger in an order that's not supposed to, but the idea is the zombies will jump down, they will trigger this, which will they'll set their fails up one, and it will also spawn a potion right here. I'll actually go enable that spawn because it's actually disabled right now, so I'll be right back. So this is like the whole main clock at spawn. As you see when I activated it, it said I failed. So that's what happens when you let a zombie get to the ship. It will say you failed. So what happens when a zombie goes through here is they will trigger this, and it does that. So it will set your fails up, and as you can see, it also spawns a potion right there, which has instant health, like 127 or something like that, and that pretty much just kills the zombies. Okay, so I think that's pretty much everything. Also, the other command blocks, they just put this back to normal. So also when this is over, you get the bomb and everything. Then once you go in here, it summons all the bad dudes in here, and as you can see, I just triggered that spawner, but once you get close to here, it will clear your inventory of those bombs, which are really just like furnace mine carts. Yeah, so that will trigger like after here once it clears. I didn't show this, but this clock tries to clear it, and it tells you need to swim back to the ship very fast, and summons an item. I might make the delay on this longer, but summons an item right here, and once this is the timer for how long you have to get back to the ship. Once the item despawns, it will blow up, so I'll just show that right now. So the way that works, oh, also, once that's over, it triggers this, which is dialogue, gives you potion effects, and right here is when you would be teleported to the next area. When you'd still be on the ship, but there's like a fort where they live, I guess. So the way that the little explosion works is it summons a bunch of these fireballs that are like traveling downwards, and they have a really big explosion power. It turns mob griefing off so that those will actually cause damage. Then it actually turns it back. Turns mob griefing back off. I guess it turns it on here, then turns it off over here, so that like creepers and stuff won't cause any damage. And that's pretty much everything. Also, I'll just go over how this works. Obviously there's no redstone connected to this button, so it's pretty much a test for block thing. It will make this clock turn on, which tests if there is a button, if this button is pressed, then it will do that. So what it does is summons or tests for the button here. When it goes off, it will trigger this, which plays like a little snare sound. I guess it's supposed to sound like you're loading the cannon. Then it will summon 2 fireballs and play the ignite sound. So the reason it summons 2 is because when you do that, if there's 2 fireballs, it will like make an explosion and shoot the other one. so it actually looks like a cannon instead of just like all of a sudden the fireball goes. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So if I take one of these out, it will just be one fireball right here, and it looks like that. It doesn't hurt you, but I think the other thing looks a lot better. So that's the reason why I did that. Also, all these villagers, they just trade snowballs because, again, there is a bug in the game where if they are trading something like block 30 to block 36, they will crash your game because, like, Mojang did something where they weren't allowing certain blocks in your inventory, but if you trade with a villager that has it in their little trading window, it will crash your game. So hopefully, I'm hoping that these bugs are just because like Mojang was at Minecon and they were rushed, and not because they're actually like not noticing the bugs. So hopefully all these bugs will get fixed, hopefully the FPS will be increased, and I think that's pretty much everything. I guess thanks for watching, guys. And here's the destroyed ship. As you can see, it's pretty destroyed. Also, there's something I forgot about. Since my last map making video, I pretty much tripled my amount of subscribers. So thanks to everybody who helped out with that. I think that was pretty much caused by my airplanes video, which I might have another video on soon because I've found some ways to improve it. But yeah, lots of nice YouTubers, they have like commented and liked my airplanes video. They pretty much exposed my channel to a lot of you guys who are watching. So thanks to everybody for doing that, and thanks to everybody who actually enjoyed the video. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. So if you're new to the channel, just if you want to see what this is all about, you can watch the older videos. But the first video, which explains the story has changed a little bit from then, and so if you're wondering why I'm doing something that's not part of the story, it's just because I've changed the story since then. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I needed to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode, I guess. So yeah, bye bye.